think of you often and of my family. They tell us that God is dead, and now the party they call the Angka will provide everything for us. He says Angka has identified and proclaims the existence of a bad new disease, a memory sickness diagnosed as thinking too much about life in pre-revolutionary Cambodia. He says we are surrounded by enemies. The enemy is inside us. No one can be trusted.
It's you!
Yes, man cub. So nice to see you again.
Oh, go away. Leave me alone.
Let me look at you. You don't want me to look at you? Then you look at me.
Today we celebrate the first glorious anniversary of the information purification directives. We have created, for the first time in all history, a garden of pure ideology, where each worker may bloom, secure from the pests, obeying contradictory thoughts. Our unification of thoughts is more powerful a weapon than any fleet or army on earth. We are one people, with one will, one resolve, one cause.
We believe technology isn't just a tool.
Hello, Olivia. Thank you.
It's a way of life.
Have a sustainable day.
About that later, all right? Hey, what's this?
Oh, but now you're giving me the silent treatment? Daphne? Velma?
Dad, what happened?
Okay, that was so weird. It was like you went into a trance or you were sleepwalking or something.
It's like my brain was being overloaded or something.
Wait, it didn't affect you.
No.
Those audio files must use a frequency that can only be heard by kids. Velma, that's super advanced tech. Somebody built these passages behind the lockers. Mom! I'm good. She's acting like Spencer and all the other kids. Unplug those wires. Don't wander too far.
Well, hi there.
Where did you find those?
I know all the secret places. Do you want one? Nothing in my hat. Don't worry, that's my friend. You're missing the trick. Reach inside.
Wow. So pretty.
Because it's special. And speaking of special, you're a little magic too, aren't you? The flower in my hand. What color is it? Oh, it's okay, honey. You won't scare me. I promise.
Purple. I should get back to my lab.
No, stay a while. See more magic. Oh, you are a special little thing, aren't you?
Can you tell me your name?
Nicholas Eastman.
Are you from Earth?
Yes, I'm from Earth.
What I'm about to tell you, Nick, you may find a bit disturbing. Due to circumstances surrounding your condition, I'm afraid that our information is extremely limited.
What do you mean, my condition? Wait, what's my condition?
Can you recall for me the first time you encountered the signal?
The what?
In most public and private schools across the nation, Chromebooks, iPads, or Windows devices are everywhere. But things look very different at the private Sacramento Waldorf School in California, where technology isn't used at all through 8th grade and is scarce even in high school.
Instead of just turning to my phone to answer a question, to ask a teacher for help or to ask a friend.
I just never really knew what it was like to play video games as opposed to running around and having fun outside.
We don't have that many screens here, but I can still use a screen really well. You don't have to be on the screen all the time to know how to use it well.
So I would whip stitch this on. I find that even in my own experience in my own life, that when I'm using a device, it divides me from those who are around me. So I find that the community experience of being in a classroom without those devices, that comes only from one-on-one human interaction. And the screen tends to divide that.
Good morning.
Morning, Nico.
Celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, the Waldorf teaching philosophy is used at more than 1,000 institutions in 91 countries, including 136 schools here in the U.S. The screen policy differs at each Waldorf school, but it's known for its holistic instructional style, which promotes artistic expression, experiential learning, and yes, limited technology use.
You will all be participating in the new Global Child Initiative program.
We're just going to do a checkup and a gum treatment.
Kya? Every kid in our class, we've all been implanted.
They want to control us.
Tim, wait!
Hello? Anyone there?
We're the ones that time forgot.
Hello? Who are you guys?
We're the unlisted, and so are you.
We will locate every homeless, lost, vulnerable child, because all children deserve academic and medical benefits.
They're tracking kids.
Where's your twin?
Messing with their heads.
For students at the Sacramento Waldorf School, screen time is highly discouraged at home, too. The lower school parent handbook recommends no media at home through 5th grade, and limited access accompanied by clearly defined family policies and monitoring for older children, stating none is the optimal condition for young children and less is better than more.
A scientist says there is a possible explanation for the bizarre phenomenon involving a huge flock of sheep caught on film walking in a circle for 12 days straight in China. The eerie video, which was posted on Twitter last week by the Chinese state-run outlet People's Daily, shows dozens of the animals marching around and around on a farm in China's remote Inner Mongolia region. The tweet accompanying the creepy footage assured viewers that the sheep are healthy, and the expert suggests there also could be a very natural reason behind the animals' striking behavior, which has unnerved and mystified people around the world. It looks like the sheep are in the pen for long periods.
You're a very lucky boy to have been chosen.
I realise that, Mrs., and I'm very grateful to all concerned.
We're going to be friends then, aren't we, Alex?
I hope so, Mrs. What's the hypo for, then? Gonna send me to sleep?
Oh, no, nothing of the sort.
Vitamins will it be, then?
Something like that. You're a little undernourished, so after each meal we're going to give you a shot. Roll over on your right side, please. Loosen your pajama pants and pull them halfway down.
What exactly is the treatment here going to be, then?
Oh, it's quite simple, really. We're just going to show you some films.
You mean like going to the pictures?
Something like that.
Well, that's good. I like to video the old films now and again.
School is an 18-year forced government training program that sterilizes the potential for brilliance in children. Those who actually survive schooling and survive conformity and continue on to think for themselves truly are a rare breed. All children start out as curious, highly experimental minds, and then one day they're sent to school. Mandatory schooling has never consisted of anything but the memorization of monotonous dead facts and training children to master repetitious behavior. For the greater part of their day, everything the child says must match the interest of their school teachers. Their behavior must coincide with a set policy and a set regulation. They cannot use the bathrooms without permission. If they wish to speak, they must raise their hands. And after every hour or so, a bell rings and everyone must move to it. It couldn't be any more slave-like. And this type of training becomes a ritual for the child. It becomes the plot background for their television shows and books, or the ideology taught to them by a teacher or a parent. An entire monoculture is being developed here, stripping children of their power to cause trouble for the state at an early age, training them to be good servants of the politically correct. Their environment is much like a prison, by the population lacking any ability to check the authority of the warden. The process becomes a matter of rubber stamping. They have no control over their entire lives, which is directly related to youth violence, because the only control they have is between each other. Mandatory schooling produces children who are either terrified of the tyranny of others or have been raised to perpetually exploit the conditions of others. It's just like the prison system, forced cohabitation. The child's presence in certain buildings and their engagement in state-regulated behavior is under penalty of imprisonment. An entire army of truancy officers have been hired to make sure that no child is on the other side of the bars. At the end of 18 years of coercive state authority, the child is released into the world. It's like the end of an 18-year prison sentence. Now that you're trained to do as you're told, now you can be free. And the produce of these schools, or this state-controlled manufacturing operation, is a society willing to submit, to obey, and to listen. Forced behavior, which technically amounts to a type of slavery, will only inculcate a mindset of fear and terror. You need to be somewhere at a set time, either at the orders of an authority or a bell. Everyone in one mass shifts to another position or another place to engage in a new activity.
When I wake up in the morning and the alarm gets out of warning, I don't think I'll ever make it on time. By the time I grab my books and I give myself a look, I'm at the corner just in time to see the bus fly by. It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell. If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Riding low in my chair, she won't know that I'm there. If I can hand it in tomorrow, it'll be alright. It's alright, 'cause I'm saved by the bell.
They're trained to not only follow instruction, but they're also trained to follow a certain behavior. Rules, regulations, and laws are set for the children. They say you cannot do this to others. You can do this to others. This is acceptable. This is not acceptable. Standards of culture, morality, and behavior are imprinted into these new young minds that are in the blossoming stages of development. Their minds are being intercepted by the state and molded to conform to state standards. The first lesson they teach you is the orders of authority. The second lesson is to work with each other to achieve the desired ends of those in control. If a group of children are taught to engage in the same behavior regardless of what they want to do, then they will never fight back as adults. And this is your group of tenants who will live in roaches and never call the health inspector. This is your group of citizens who is easily terrified by police officers into voluntarily giving up their rights. This is your group of workers who surrender their lives to the corporation who tells them how to dress, how to speak, what time to wake up, which means they essentially tell you what time to go to sleep if they tell you what time to wake up. This is nothing new. These are the fruits of mandatory schooling. If we look into the roots of 19th century industrialism, the Civil War demonstrated to industrialists and financiers how a standardized population trained to follow orders without significant thought could be made to function as a money tree. It's no surprise that global power and corporate wealth is based on a third-rate educational system that works against developing individuals of true character and true intellect.
Get me up. I want to be sick. Get something for me to be sick in.
Very soon now, the drug will cause the subject to experience a death-like paralysis, together with deep feelings of terror and helplessness. One of our early test subjects described it as being like death, a sense of stifling or drowning. And it is during this period we have found the subject will make his most rewarding associations between his catastrophic experience of environment and the violence he sees.
Because the mindless bureaucrat or the thoughtless worker who will follow a system without question is the pattern that our system depends on. And this is what school produces. The system is not designed to educate the public, which is why federal and state bureaucracies call the shots, not the parents, not the local school boards. Every law is harshly enforced with maximum punishments. The tone of a principal is much like the tone of a warden, with no check on his authority. They will always have a way of using coercive ability to enforce a standard on the population.
We must be like the ox and have no thought except for the party. No love, but for the hunger. People starve, but we must not grow food. We must honor the comrade children whose minds are not corrupted by the past.
Strict punishment awaits any kid who disobeys this ruling force, and there is no doubt that an active student body reflects positively on school administrators. It's like factory floor men. They're fulfilling their quotas to the inspecting superintendent of the local school district. This is the reality of government training. The state doesn't care if children are homeless or on the streets or suffering from malnutrition and hunger, but the second the child fails to appear in school at the scheduled time, like a court date, the police are alerted.
Well, well, well. Hi there.
When this starts, run.
Yes, you run, dear. And then I will find you, and you will scream for years until you die.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. Always watching.
Whew, she's nuts.
All scare floors are now active. Assistants, please report to your station.
Okay, people, Eastern Seaboard coming online. We got scarers coming out.
Ooh, they're so awesome.
May the best monster win.
I plan to.
We are on in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Shit a boss, shit a big hairy boss.
Today, Mikey. Yeah.
Whoa! Attaboy, attaboy. Another dog coming right up.
You're still behind, Randall. You know, maybe I should realign the screen intake
Just
valve.
get me another door!
Ah, the door, yes, door!
Wendy, I'm home. Come out, wherever you are.
I can't get out!
Well, Jerry, what's the damage so far?
We may actually make our quota today, sir.
First time in a month.
Here's Johnny.
Just listen to the music and let your mind go.
Hey, what? Back off!
Subject her to catchy pop music. That will change her tune. I'll start with one that's sure to get stuck in her head.
This song's gonna get stuck inside your. This song's gonna get stuck inside your. This song's gonna get stuck inside your head. This song's gonna get stuck inside your. This song's gonna get stuck inside your. This song's gonna get stuck inside your head. It's so catchy, catchy, such a catchy song, gonna make you happy, happy. Don't try to stop.
stuck in my head, and my head loves it.
What's wrong with you? You're not acting like yourself.
This is the most disturbing thing I've ever seen. Run! Don't listen to the music, Emmett, if you want your noodle to stay al dente.
How would you describe what the circle is to, say, your grandmother?
It's the chaos of the web made elegant.
Speed round, Paul or John?
Early Paul, late John.
Mario or Sonic?
Early Sonic, late Mario.
Needs of the society or needs of the individual?
Should be the same.
You're most scared of?
Unfulfilled potential.
I am a believer in the perfectibility of human beings. When we are our best selves, the possibilities are endless. At the circle, there isn't a problem that we cannot solve. We can cure any disease, and we can end hunger without secrets, without the hoarding of knowledge and information. We can finally realize our potential. Circlers, do you like to share?
Until we abolish mandatory schooling, your child will be brought up as a slave so that he can accept becoming a slave later in life in adulthood.
If it happens, we'll know. Imagine the human rights implications. There needs to be accountability.
What is this?
The circle has the power to change everything. It's only our lies that get us in trouble. Things we hide. We care about everybody you care about. Because knowing is good, but knowing everything is better.
Wake up! Wake you up! Get dressed! Carol!
759 Sector C.
Carol! We gotta go! We gotta get out of here! We gotta go right now!
Listen to me, Steve.
No, you don't understand! We've gotta go!
Go where?
No, we gotta go! What the hell are you talking about?
Steve, this is important. Go where? That's right. Go where? What happened in your room? Are you listening? What happened in your room is not an isolated incident. It is something that is happening everywhere to everyone. So, where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna run? Where are you gonna hide? Nowhere. Because there's no one like you left.
红色是表示你的专注力显示得很高。
Teachers at this primary school in China
蓝色是走神了。
know exactly when someone isn't paying attention.
白色就是你可能跟网络还没有连接好。
These headbands measure each student's level of concentration. The information is then directly sent to the teacher's computer and to parents. China has big plans to become a global leader in artificial intelligence. It has enabled a cashless economy where people make purchases with their faces. A giant network of surveillance cameras with facial recognition helps police monitor citizens. Meanwhile, some schools offer glimpses of what the future of high-tech education in the country might look like.
Good job!
Classrooms have robots that analyze students' health and engagement levels. Students wear uniforms with chips that track their locations. There are even surveillance cameras that monitor how often students check their phones or yawn during classes. These gadgets have alarmed Chinese netizens. But schools say it wasn't hard for them getting parental consent to enroll kids into what is one of the world's largest experiments in AI education. A program that's supposed to boost students' grades while also feeding powerful algorithms.
为了就是国家的这个研究呀、发展呀，我觉得是没有问题的。
The government has poured billions of dollars into the project, bringing together tech giants, startups, and schools.
We got exclusive access to a primary school a few hours outside of Shanghai to see firsthand how AI tech is being used in the classroom. For this 5th grade class, the day begins with putting on a brain wave sensing gadget. Students then practice meditating.
现在想象我们眉心有一点柔和的光芒绽放。
And this might lead to stereotypic behavior, with the repeated circling due to frustration about being in the pen and limited, said Matt Bell, a professor at the Department of Agriculture at Harper University in Gloucester, England, to Newsweek. Then the other sheep join, as they are flock animals, and bond or join their friends. The social behavior of sheep is dominated by flock mentality, which controls the animal's movements and protects individuals from predators by prompting them to flee from danger as a group. According to the Merck Veterinary Manual, the sheep had been moving in a nearly perfect circle since no. Although there are 34 sheep pens at the farm, only the sheep in one of the pens know. 13 had been acting this way. Some have speculated that the sheep's behavior could also be caused by a bacterial disease called listeriosis, also known as circling disease.
We're not 100% certain about what we're dealing with here.
What are you gonna tell me?
I need to protect myself.
From what?
Be afraid of the dark. Walk on through the wind. Walk on through the rain. Though your dreams be lost and gone.
The device is made in China and has 3 electrodes, 2 behind the ears and 1 on the forehead. These sensors pick up electrical signals sent by neurons in the brain. The neural data is then sent in real time to the teacher's computer. So while students are solving math problems, a teacher can quickly find out who's paying attention and who's not.
说明这段时间他是有点在那走神的。
A report is then generated that shows how well the class was paying attention. It even details each student's concentration level at 10-minute intervals. It's then sent to a chat group for parents.
就是他可以看到每个人的评分。
The reports are detailed, but whether these devices really work and what they exactly measure isn't as clear. We were curious if the headbands could actually measure concentration, so one of our reporters tried on the device.
但我没有感觉自己特别集中。
This is a new technology with still fairly little research behind it.
Theodore Zanto is a neuroscientist at the University of California, San Francisco. He was surprised to learn that this tech, called electroencephalography, also known as EEG, is being used in the classroom on children. It's usually used by doctors in hospitals and labs.
EEG is very susceptible to artifacts, and so if you are itchy or just a little fidgety, or the EEG wasn't set up properly so that the electrodes didn't have a good contact, affects the signal.
Despite the chances for false readings, teachers told us the headbands have forced students to become more disciplined.
上课回答我的问题，就是他们的声音会比平常更响亮。
Teachers say the students now pay better attention during class, and that has made them study harder and achieve higher scores.
上课认真听讲，作业做的基本上是全对的。
But not all students are as enthusiastic.
就是自己感觉是脑筋，我感觉这里有个紧的。
This fifth grader, whom we caught dozing off in class, told us his parents punish him for low attention scores. And that kind of data adds a new kind of pressure for students.
你想啊，如果在一次考试全班人都考了95分以上，就你考了一个85，你会不会感觉你有一种落后？
You are here to act as chaperones to the candidates. A group selected for intelligence trials using augmented reality technology.
This is seriously weird, isn't it? I am Ariel.
The candidates, they're children.
The time to save our country's future is now.
I thought that was a really neat trick they played on you.
But as me having younger siblings, we all had to share one computer until we got the iPads.
If we educate the kids and provide them the resources that are necessary, the goal was that they would go home or go into the community and be able to educate others.
Alert me at any time if you feel stressed, anxious, or concerned.
They weren't like this when we arrived.
There's something wrong with them!
The Verizon Innovative Learning helped me with technology because everything changed once we heard we got iPads, we can do our work through there, we can take it anywhere. If it wasn't for them, we'd probably still be in the same thing, having to share a computer lab.
Hurry!
These are the minds of the future, remember?
They were given an opportunity to become engineers or to become city developers in their own classroom, so their confidence has gone through the roof.
And it opens up so many other doors that doesn't limit them to a specific career field.
What is magic? Our argument, nothing but targeted deception. So I want you to look. Look as closely as possible. Because the tricks you are about to see may not seem connected, but we assure you they are. Is what follows 100 different tricks? Or is it one giant illusion?
I saw that morning, being down here now, as different as it looks, I still have those visuals, those images in my mind, in my head.
We're on, as a nation, officially now.
Suicide bombers, it happens in Israel on a daily basis. Those are the things we have to be careful of now, we have to watch for now.
Do you expect suicide bombers? Plane struck the North Tower of the World Trade Center 1 year ago. Hundreds of people have gathered here at Ground Zero to mark the anniversary in what is expected to be, we tell you that the anniversary ceremony will also include several moments of silence, marking the times that the hijacked jet.
The day after the September 11th tragedy, then New York Mayor Rudy Giuliani encouraged New Yorkers to keep calm and carry on, to try and live a normal life, even go shopping.
Advice that I would give to people today, if they're home from work, is to go about a normal day. Take the day as an opportunity to go shopping, be with your children, do things, get out.
And now, 15 years later, a massive shopping mall has risen, quite literally, from the ashes. The Oculus is the centerpiece of the new $4 billion World Trade Center transportation hub, which replaces the one destroyed in the terrorist attacks. Designed by architect Santiago Calatrava, it's the third largest transport center in New York City. And the adjacent mall, in its pristine marble glory, recently opened to the public.
The Oculus is beautiful.
Very nice, very great, unbelievable. I think it's beautiful. How could you not like it?
The shopping center, operated by Westfield Corporation, currently has more than 100 stores, ranging from Apple to Hugo Boss, with some 32,000 square meters dedicated to retail. Some have taken offense to the emphasis on retail, saying there isn't much here to indicate it's built on consecrated ground.
I didn't get the connection between 9/11 and this structure.
I don't really think there is anything about the centre that would indicate to me as a tourist in New York that it is on sacred ground, but I'm not offended by it.
Most see it as a symbol of renewal.
Obviously, this is not a memorial to September 11th, but it does capture New York spirit in the sense that even though, and I'll say it in sort of a New York way, we can take a punch to the gut and still get up and keep thriving.
The USA rebuilding and making, business again prosperous in an area that was totally destroyed. I think it's wonderful.
The impressive glass and steel structure was intended to look like a dove in flight, but that seems to be open to interpretation.
It kind of looks like a rib cage. The ribs of some kind of a fish, perhaps a whale.
I thought it looked like a dinosaur, skeleton.
It almost reminded me of the crown of the Statue of Liberty.
However, there is no debate that it is indeed spectacular in the truest sense of the word.
So, we're gonna have an astrophysicist in the family.
Actually, I have to write this paper. Will you help me?
Let's take a closer look. What part of the solar system are we talking about?
Saturn.
If you were taking astrophysics, you could study in the metaverse.
Did you know the rings are made up of billions of icy particles?
Really?
Look at this.
You ready to do that paper now, right?
Yeah.
In the metaverse, you'll be able to teleport not just to any place, but any time as well. Ancient Rome. Imagine standing on the streets, hearing the sounds, visiting the markets, to get a sense of the rhythm of life over 2,000 years ago. Imagine learning how the Forum was built by actually seeing the Forum get built right in front of you.
Companies we interviewed said the data can go to government-funded research projects. We spoke to parents who were unclear about where the data ended up, and they didn't seem to care too much. Santos says there's likely no privacy protection at all.
In a classroom, if you're trying to make an assessment of an individual student, you really can't anonymize it.
Experts and citizens alike are sounding alarms about various aspects of the country's huge push into artificial intelligence. These classrooms are laboratories for future generations. And while these new tools may potentially help some 200 million students raise their grades, just how this all works out won't be apparent until they become adult citizens.
Time march! Private beam, private crane, fall to the rear, do it now, quickly! Quick time, march! Left, 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 left. Buses loose! Go, Joe! Don't you know? That's the sound of the men. Get back! Working on the chain. One more. Yeah, yeah. That's the sound of the men working on the chain. Gang, keep it strong. Ooh, ah, yeah. Ooh, ah. Oh, don't you know? That's the sound of the men working on the chain. One more. Gang. That's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. Can you hear me saying, ooh, I feel good. Ooh, I feel good. You know, that's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. Don't you know, that's the sound of the men working on the chain gang. Can you hear me saying, ooh, keep it right there, Jerry. Yeah. Ooh, come on. Ooh, sweet. Ooh, sing for me. Ooh, I'm thirsty, my. Working so hard, see my woman, who I love so dear, meanwhile, got to stay right here, give me water. Soul Patrol, oh, don't you know?
Oh my God. I did not see that coming. It's impossible.
No way.
That was actually pretty good.
Thank you.
Welcome to the eye.
Good night!
I'm Laurel County Jailer Jamie Mosley. I was elected to this position in 2010. Being a county agency, there are many goals that we had when our administration began, but I think everybody's number one goal is to make sure that you have safety and security, control of the facility, and to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to ensure that we have health and well-being of each one of our inmates throughout the entire day. In this environment, so many of the processes have been prehistoric or very outdated. One of our primary concerns here at our facility was being able to accurately document and record our cell checks. We all know that paper allows a lot of opportunity for fraud. We had tried other systems that simply did not work as we had hoped that they would. We wanted to make sure that we had a product that gave us full accountability, that was dependable, where the system did not crash and there were not issues. With the Guardian RFID system and the technology that's built into it, it's just given us so much better accountability than we had before.
Guardian RFID is kind of an all-in-one package. Our officers use the Guardian RFID system on a daily basis. They do their head counts with it, their cell checks with it, cell movement, recreation, anything that would go in a daily log, they record on the Spartan device. Knowing that Guardian RFID has staff with correctional backgrounds, you can really see that in the software development and how easy it is to use the Spartan device.
There's lots of developers, there's lots of people that can create programming and things of that nature. It's very easy to understand when those products have had someone that has day-to-day experience who has performed these jobs and understands what the objectives of these functions are. We not only want to utilize the product that they have developed, but we want to play a role in providing input, feedback to continue to evolve that product. The main thing that makes a great jail is people, and giving those people the correct tools to do their job, providing technology, providing training, and having a great team around you to make sure that you execute all of those things.
One team, one mission.
Masonic CHIP program uses modern police-approved techniques to create a child identification kit.
And we take fingerprints. We also provide them with a swab for getting a DNA swab. And we also provide them with imprint where they can get an imprint of the child's teeth. So not only does it provide DNA as well as a swab, but it is also a source if you were using tracking dogs to provide a scent for the child.
You may be surprised to see who we found using tricks to cover up their license plates.
Apparently, they're law enforcement.
Our main story tonight focuses on the Biotechnology Affordable Use Act, or BAWA for short. Version 2.0 of the sensational and now mandatory smartphone peripheral, the Nano, is rapidly gaining market share as Aspire rolls out public beta testing to some lucky users. Hundreds of new body-enhancing apps are already available exclusively on the Nano 2.0 platform, but there's one in particular that everyone's talking about: remote paralysis. Instrumental in BAWA's success on Capitol Hill, remote paralysis is changing the way America does law enforcement. Joining us from Austin is Phil Leary, former director of the Texas chapter of the ACLU, who was dismissed for denouncing the organization's positions on gun control and Nano 2.0.
That's great.
Phil, gun-related deaths are down 80% since the Second Amendment was repealed, and fatal police shootings are practically non-existent. Why is this a problem for you?
Well, crime going down is not a problem.
We have you on record stating that
What is a problem for me is when the technology being used to apprehend these criminals is unsafe.
What, compared to guns?
Unnatural.
Woo! I can't believe we got it. You got it. What's going on with your hair?
It's fine. Turn here.
What?
Just do it!
I need a unit dispatch for pickup. Oh, suspect will be RP'd. I'll send the specs right away.
Stop the car.
What?
Stop the car.
Sully, don't do this!
I've been doxxed, Daddy.
Wait. I can fix this. Oh, Zoe.
We will finally complete the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens, never happens. Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. Do you ever notice? In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land, it will be on sea, it will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
No, sir. I know what you're trying to do. Cop?
You do? You don't trust me?
No.
Then there's nothing I can do to help.
You want to help me?
Certainly.
Okay. So let's dedicate this to General Kelly, the Border Patrol, and the ICE agents for doing such an incredible job. Right? This was written by Al Wilson a long time ago. And I thought of it having to do with our borders and people coming in. And we know what we're going to have. We're going to have problems. We have to very, very carefully vet. We have to be smart. We have to be vigilant.
So here it is, the snake. It's called the snake. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a poor, half-frozen snake. His pretty-colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Poor thing," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you." The border. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a comforter of silk and laid him by her fireside with some honey and some milk. She hurried home from work that night, and as soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed that vicious snake. She clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in by now, oh heavens, you would have died." She stroked his pretty skin again and kissed him and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. "Take me in, O tender woman. Take me in, for heaven's sake. Take me in, O tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "I have saved you," cried the woman, "and you've bitten me, heavens, why? You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Oh, shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in."
I'm 2,000 years old, and I remember when we used to open up the door and just let the kids pee.
Sarah! Sarah! Sarah!
Hey, lady!
Sarah!
I found her!
Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Sarah will be part of our trial period. Response so far is just incredible. A sense of security, peace of mind. The stories we've been hearing, they are truly inspirational.
It's completely safe. Sure it is, honey.
Does that explain it, folks? Does that explain it?
Our enemies shall talk themselves to death, but we will bury them with their own confusion. We shall prevail.
On January 24th, Apple Computer will introduce Macintosh. And you'll see why 1984 won't be like 1984.
So Steve Jobs went in to sell him some of our little boards that we built for $20. He said, no. People want to come in, they want to buy it pre-built. They want to buy the thing ready to go. It cost us $250 to build maybe. We'd sell it for $500. And then the retail price was $666.66 because I, as a mathematician, like repeating digits.
Trust in me.